What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Hump Day, Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, exactly in the middle of the month, kind of. Hope you're having a good month, getting this weather. The weather's cooling down, drying up, all the good things that we love. Hey, if you want to get yourself some Buckeye gear, check out the BuckeyeCast.com. Shirts, hats, quarter zips, hoodies, you name it. All the things you need to stay warm and cover yourself in scarlet and gray. So check it out, thebuckeyecast.com. Everything's on sale. We'll do a sale. Let's go through Saturday. Sale through Saturday, so check it out. Today, we're talking about the Ohio State versus Wisconsin matchup up in Madtown. I'm getting you geared up for that. Our preview episode, and then tomorrow will be best bets. I got like 6 or 8 bets that I'm placing personally, so we're slowly climbing out of a hole. That's what she said. I don't know why she said that, but anyway, then Friday is 5 keys to a Buckeye victory. So anyway, let's get into this preview. Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Did I do that right? I don't know. Anyway, forecast right now is 52 degrees and breezy. That's classic Madison, Wisconsin weather, right? Classic Big Ten weather. You could get that just about anywhere in the Midwest this Saturday probably. So the line right now has Ohio State minus 27.5. Yes, lock that up. Over under at 44.5. We'll see how windy it's going to be. That might affect the passing game a bit, but Sayin's got a good enough arm. I think he can cut through 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, I would hope. So, setting the scene, Buckeyes roll in undefeated, 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in Big Ten play, number 1 team in the nation. Damn, I never get tired of saying that. It never gets old. Wisconsin, the Badgers, they're in a tailspin. 4 straight losses. They're averaging just 8.5 points per game over that stretch. This used to be one of those physical rivalries almost, really, an unwritten rivalry. Usually decided who went to the Big Ten title game, or sometimes we played them in the Big Ten title game. Now, unfortunately for Luke, and I love Luke Fickell, he'll always be a Buckeye. Now it's a talent that is just a mismatch of like epic proportions here. The Buckeyes have won 10 straight against the Badgers. Last loss was in 2010, a long time ago. So what's happened? What caused this collapse? What happened to Wisconsin over these last 3 games? Most recent was their last loss was 37-0 against Iowa. 209 total yards on offense. That's not going to get it done. 3 turnovers, 5 sacks allowed. Their quarterback, Hunter Simmons, never heard of this guy. He was 8 for 23. That's not good. That's like a 33% completion percentage. 77 yards, 2 picks. Obviously, they scored on 0 points on 2 red zone trips. That's not good either. Their offense is like lifeless. Their offense is dead. DOA. The defense held up early but collapsed just from being worn out, being on the field so freaking long. Then before that, they played Minnesota at Minnesota. Now here they put up over 300 yards total offense, 301. Hey, that's more than 300. 1 touchdown and 2 red zone trips. Couldn't convert third downs for shit. They were 5 of 13. Secondary got shredded on the intermediate routes. And then the game before that was a 30-14 loss versus USC. In that game, the Badgers put up 288 yards but allowed 4 sacks. Seems like this O-line is a big problem for them. Had 2 fumbles lost. The game was close late, but then the turnovers killed them. And the defense gave up an 80-yard TD run to seal the deal. So, yeah. Luke. So, quarterback play has been brutal. Simmons is under 50% completion percentage, 5 picks. And that's just in Big Ten play. It's 3 games. O-line, constant breakdowns, 0 push in short yardage. The skill talent, they have zero playmakers, no explosiveness whatsoever. On the defense, those guys are overworked. They're soft against physical fronts, so not good in the trenches. This is like the opposite of a Luke Fickell team. And then red zone offense, 1 for 6, 1 touchdown on 6 attempts in the last 3 games. So looking at their stats on the season, total offense, they're 129th in the country, passing 112th, rushing 116, scoring 131st, turnover margin -6, that's 127th in the country. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. Anyway, they have another quarterback, Danny O'Neal. I don't know if that's right. That doesn't look right. Dylan Jones, a running back, 286. Vinny Anthony, 274. This is strategically one of the worst Power 5 offenses in the country. Now, on the defense, respectable, but these guys are fading. They're getting beat up every fucking week. They're on the field forever. Total defense, 34th in the country. Rush defense, 18th. Scoring defense, 58th. They were strong early in the season, but now they're gassed after weeks of having to carry that shitbag of an offense. Remember linebacker Tackett Curtis from Louisiana, I believe. He's on Wisconsin now. Then you got Christian Alliegro. They're active, but these are undersized guys, not super athletic. Remember that from the Tackett Curtis recruitment. Secondary allows 62% completion percentage. Iowa and Minnesota both gash them with power running and play action shots. So keep that in mind. Now checking in with the Buckeyes here at the mid-season 6th game, going into the 7th game. 4th best defense in the country in yards allowed. Turnover margin of +3. The running game, my big issue after last week was the number of run plays and then the lack of production out of those run plays. Ryan Day talked about it this week. He said, we're still learning what our guys do best. Halfway through the season, it's time to focus on what fits our personnel. So the Buckeyes rushed for 106 on 37 carries last week as a 2.9 yards per carry average against Illinois. They haven't topped 4.5 in 3 straight games, 4.5 yards per carry. Still experimenting with the 11, 12, 13 personnel looks. What's funny is in 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, they're running at 6.2 yards per carry. But check this out. In 12 personnel, they're running at 5.9. So it's worse. The more tight ends you bring in, you're supposed to get more push. You bring in extra blockers to move guys off the line of scrimmage. No, it's worse. That doesn't make sense, man. Somebody explain this to me. Anyways, Bo Jackson leads the team with a 7-yard average, 407 yards rushing. CJ Donaldson does have the 6 touchdowns, but he's kind of a goal line vulture, you know. So I got to think you're going to expect more 11 personnel this week. You want to spread out those linebackers who are not athletic. Get them going sideline to sideline if they can, and that's going to open up the lanes inside. So looking at some of the key matchups in this game, the Buckeye offensive line. Sorry, I need a drink of water there. Ooh, that's vodka. Oops. This is going to be a short one. No. So Buckeye offensive line versus the Badger front 7 on defense. Now, the Badgers do rank 18th in rush defense, but Iowa and Minnesota averaged 4.4 yards per carry over the last 2 weeks. So if the Buckeye O-line can finally generate some movement, and I'm talking to you, Tegra, I'm looking directly at you, this could be a get-right game for the run game. But it could be fool's gold, too. If we say we dominate Wisconsin in the trenches, is it because their D-line is beat to shit, or because we're actually good at run blocking all of a sudden? I guess we'll find out. Another matchup is Julian Sayin versus the Wisconsin secondary. Sayin's got almost 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, 78% completion percentage. Wisconsin's DBs are slow to close in space. They don't react quickly. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, they should feast on these deep outs and posts. Another matchup is Matt Patricia's defense versus Hunter Simmons. Simmons has been under siege, 8 for 23, 77 yards, 2 picks last week we talked about. So expect Patricia to dial up some zone match pressures and confusing protection calls for the O-line. So same shit, different day, basically is what we're saying. Same stuff Patricia's been doing, right? Nothing new. I mean, why change now? And then red zone execution is another issue. Wisconsin's 83% scoring rate, but only 50% are touchdowns. So they're kicking a lot of field goals in the red zone because they can't punch it in. The Buckeyes, number 1 in college football in red zone defense. They've allowed touchdowns on 2 of 11 trips. And then turnovers. This is an easy one. Wisconsin, the 127th in the country at a -6. You don't want to be minus in the turnover category. Buckeyes +3. They're 38th. Could be better, but the Buckeyes will win this battle pretty easily. I'm looking at the stats comparison here. There is nothing that they're even close on. This is going to get ugly. It's going to be a dominant, win going away. Take them into deep waters, and shit, this thing could be over by half too. Who knows? The numbers just scream mismatch when you look at the stats. So going against a bottom 5 offense, the Buckeye defense is a top 5 defense. It doesn't bode well for putting points on the board for Luke and the boys. But Luke will have his defense fired up early on. Can they maintain it is the question. His roster, you could say, isn't necessarily his guys yet, but he's stuck with that old Wisconsin identity and some new era spread concepts. And then as far as coaching goes, Ryan Day wants a cleaner offensive performance before we get back into the home stretch. So expect sharper sequencing early. That's on you, Brian Hartline. So, some keys for the Buckeyes: start fast, protect Julian Sayin. They're going to live off trying to confuse him and blitz him and bring pressure. Then run the damn ball, obviously. Spy the quarterback, control the edges, and finish drives. Field goals are nice, but we need touchdowns. We need 6s and 7s here. So the gap between these programs is massive in talent, depth, even confidence, you could say. So expect Matt Patricia's defense to make life miserable for Simmons and Ryan Day to finally find some rhythm in the run game before we head home to Penn State in 2 weeks. So, we got a bye week coming up here after this game. So that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me with your predictions. Who do you like, not like? Is this game even going to be close? I'm surprised the spread's only 27.5, honestly. But let me know what you think. Hit me up anytime. Joe at thebuckeyecast.com, and do some shopping at thebuckeyecast.com while the sale lasts. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.